We have 37 listings. Okay, 3131 Cummins, the Cummins Lane Townhomes, 118 Angela Chain. 563 square feet.
Cozy.
Wow.
It's cozy.
Cozy.
We could be living in New York.
Bigger than Brad's apartment, right?
Yeah, it was.
Or almost. Now I think he's at 700.
Yeah.
1234 8th Street in Galveston, 150 Lord Nesmith.
This is spacious. It's 882.
882 square feet.
It's huge. Big enough. Lousy.
2119 Golden Mesa in Katy, 197.5 Mary Summers. $13.74 Chardonnay, 229 Tim Shanahan. $17.11 Old Spanish Trail in the Valencia Condos, $250 David Atkins. $8307 Burning Hills in Rayburn Valley, $269.9 Tim Shanahan. Cute, huh? It's a great photo. Look at the sky.
Play around with that. He can go play around with the sky. Right. One of those are.
12518 Rocky Knoll in Ashford Hollow, 330 Beverly Jordan.
This is a cute little house. A lot of deer heads in there. We got rid of a lot of them.
Your
One story. The kitchen needs a little work. It's black cabinets, and it's not bad. Great layout. The master's on one side of the house. 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths. It's a great little. It's really nice looking. It shows well.
No flooding.
No flooding. We have a $4,000 incentive.
What is that?
What is that? Wait.
That's a
Sheet.
real sheet.
Oh, that's the sheet.
Why is his butt up in the air?
That's
Coming down the road.
Oh, sorry.
Well, we moved him from the family room to the bedroom.
Oh, as you should.
I wanted him outside, but he has to be in.
So is this the door
Back to that
coming
sheet.
in?
No, that's the door and closet.
Welcome. You get a deer ear right in your face.
I was wondering.
That can be solved.
Better than the horn.
Okay, the Bristol, number 102, 340, Ina Perlman. 1955 square feet.
It's a nice unit. Live in it. What did we do? 2,000 square feet.
I'm still really done a good job.
I know.
4727 Bell in Eastwood, 389.9 Jonathan Williamson.
That is a re-list. It's a duplex. There's a, don't remember the rest of it. It's an East End, Eastwood.
New construction, right? Yeah.
It does have tenants in it though.
Well, then it's not new anymore.
Used construction.
You're gonna have.
5603 Stillbrooks in Park West, 425, Brenda McLaughlin. (2102) Dewberry Lane in Oak Forest, 449, Ann Singleton. (10615) Olympia in Walnut Bend, 459, Leslie Winsler. (5419) Kim in Cottage Grove, 459, big price reduction, Rachel Solar.
Wow, that is.
You play motor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but look at that for $450,000. It's nice.
Very nice.
It's very nice.
Two-story, that's nice. 2634 Fairway in Sugar Creek, 469, AJ Whitener.
Is there a duck in
Quack, quack.
Aflac?
Oh, that's nice.
One two nine oh two Traviata.
Traviata.
Traviata. Memorial Bend, 479, Laura Nesmith.
Mike Nesmith.
Like,
6833 Academy in Ayrshire, 600,000, Thomas Claffey. (3852) Gramercy, 635, Margaret Vinson. (2525) Nantucket, 674, also nice price reduction, Peggy Pentecost. (21) Briar Hollow, Unit 501, 699, Lisa Marshall.
Lisa's here.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I
pretty
saw
good
her.
looking virtual staging. Look, that's virtual
That's
staging.
gorgeous.
It's really good.
I think that's DRX. I did a good job.
That's really good.
Who's that?
I think that looks like VRX's stuff. They did a
VRX.
good job.
TK did a good
A lot
job.
more realistic.
TK, and then, Virtual Staging Solutions,
Who do you
and
think
Spotless
best?
Agency. Those seem to be the ones that everybody's using a lot.
What was the first one you said?
VRX.
VRX.
V like Victor?
VRX.
And they're on our vendor list. And then TK.
19103 San Saba River in Town Lake, 699, Serena Lawson.
Lisa's birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. There's our office right there.
Sure is. And there's our possible vote.
Yeah. 922 Boros in Inverness, 795 Patty Garrison. 4731 Devon in Afton Oaks, sorry, 799.
That's my
Peggy
listing.
Dunn, yes.
And it's, the bathrooms and kitchen have been remodeled. It shows, it's really cute. It's a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath on an 8,100 square foot lot. And Afton Oaks, and, it's open today from 12 to 2. Walk-in closet in the master, and another closet, the master's closet. A nice sized backyard, big deck, or has a little, fire pit area. And lots of grass, big trees.
1152 Mosaic.
Zayco.
Don't be
Okay.
sunshine, just dive in.
I know. Well, y'all are
She's
attacking
waiting
me.
for everybody.
Because y'all attack me as soon as I miss
And
one.
you notice no one's correcting you on this one.
Yeah,
Because I'm so
they don't
sensitive.
bite.
Donna Wilson.
I don't even know what part of town this is.
That's right.
Spring
Right.
Branch, Spring Branch.
It's what, Spring Branch? They call you.
No, yeah. Easy.
That's that community right there behind the Audi.
Ramina.
Mhm.
7830 South Dominion Falls in Fall Creek, 849. This is in sort of Kingwood, Humble area. Ron Espinoza. This is a gated section up there.
On the golf course.
Yeah, on the golf course. This family has 5 children. The house is in really good shape. 2302 Avalon Place, 900,000, Philip Alter. Lindauer Court.
Probably one of the last remaining
And
ones.
one of those
Yeah.
last
Is it not livable?
exactly.
It's really small, 1,800.
Let's see.
But it's so cute.
Sold for lot value, please walk lot with appointment only.
I think not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, the Cosmopolitan, unit 802, 985, Ruthie Porterfield.
Well, that's gonna be a tough sell.
Why the-
Lawsuit,
You have the new Interstate building going.
Yeah, it depends where it is, I guess.
depends on what side.
Yeah, what side you're on. Look out the windows, you can see.
But even
It's it.
if there's potentially some here, higher than that.
40. No, next to you.
Over here?
8.
Yeah.
Oh, the.
Straight down Post Boulevard, straight south.
304 Malone in Rice Military, 998, and Singleton.
This is a beautiful home. I sold this to them at the end of 2017. They're being transferred to Philadelphia. But they added a pool, we bought it from the builder, and at the end of 2017, it's got an elevator to all 3 floors. The builder did several upgrades. I mean, you can eat off the floor. It's ridiculous.
How is that block, Ann?
What's that?
How's the block?
Great.
Is it?
Ask Vicky. She runs them. She rules that block. She had it listed, we bought it from, and they loved it, they really loved it. But I'm having it open today from 12 to 2.
Too bad, they're being transferred.
Yeah, and they really were just, really, kids settling in.
That's
The
great.
pool is heated and.
You know, and that is beautiful, that pool. I think I might move that.
There is one, it's a very.
Yeah,
I did, I made
Yeah,
it.
she read it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
1218 Wyndon Commons Lane, $1,050,000, Sally Kamichek. Eighteen oh two Holdy in Shepherd Crest, $1,098,800. Vicki?
This is, has 3 bedrooms plus a study. It has, the living areas are very, very expansive, huge dining area, great size living area, and, a large central seating island, for stools, and then there's actually a morning room off of that, that's really large. And great size master bath areas. It has a $15,000 steam shower and $30,000 sauna system, a $25,000 stair railing. It's been upgraded to max, and a full-size backyard and a beautiful terrace with downtown views.
You got it all. You got it all.
Very nice.
He's swimming.
4402 Jane in Bel Air, $1,199,000, Headley.
This house was built by Churchill Homes. It has been completely restored, so it looks and shows like new. Two-story entry, study right off the entry as you come in there. Nice sized dining room. All the light fixtures have been upgraded. The surfaces, the countertops and all of that were upgraded. Nancy Stowe has a listing, a similar floor plan to this one. The finishes in mine are a little bit nicer. Sorry, Nancy.
She would probably.
Are you as close to the railroad tracks as she is?
We're about the same. But keep in mind, those railroad tracks, they don't blow the horn anymore.
Yeah.
So, and the house, this is the major selling, that master bathroom, bedrooms is huge. This is in walking distance to Horn Elementary School. Bourne is now the #1 rated school in the HISD system.
Really?
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a big demand for this specific area now.
It's rated by Headley Park.
Did it have any water in it?
Had water in the garage.
'29 West Oak, $1,000,004. Karen Harbor.
That's a relist. This is tucked away nicely. You know, it's in that area enclave where George Bush's house is. But this, so you go through gates to get into that enclave, then you drive down further and you come to another set of gates, and this is where this is located.
Are these still on septic systems? When they
I'm
first
not-
opened that section. Emmy, do you know if that second gated section on West Oaks is still on septic system? Which is fine if it is.
I think so.
I think it still is, yeah. I mean, they last forever,
Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
know.
Have they said anything about the gate?
Nobody's
No.
heard anything, but from the last I heard was the family has decided to keep the home because the kids come to town, and so they want a place to go to when they come, so maybe they will let them, because of that, they will let them keep it.
526 Trails Inn, $1,549,000. Jill Rome. Okay, I think this is one.
May I read something?
Well, it's on my email. This is a, is that it? Yes, a mid-century modern ranch, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, flood stream off the master, all updated. Could use an update in the kitchen and 3 big separate living spaces, or it's priced close to lot value. It's a fabulous rectangle lot in a very quiet part of a used street. Thank you.
But it is, you know, Evans is.
10429 Memorial Drive, $1,599,800. Vicky?
Okay, I'm sorry, we gotta have this. This was listed last year for about a week, 10 days, and they weren't, the husband was sick, and so we had to take it off the market, so it's back on the market. And it shows really beautiful, it's set back far away from Memorial, and she's planted actually some shrubbery off of Memorial to get more coverage. And she actually has updated the master bath areas, and Mrs. Clean lives here. So,
Mrs. Clean, listen. $2043 Southgate, $2,098,950. David Atkins. Southgate.
That's a relist. It's a Smith Family Homes. Beautiful home, but it's a relist.
Price reduction?
I don't actually know. I just know that it's been on there for.
Oh, look at that shop. In the Arabella, unit 2101, $2,001,000, Headley.
This is also a relist. It's on the obviously 21st floor. I've got some new pictures coming. This unit actually faces downtown Memorial Park and the Galleria, priced at 2.1, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, plus maid's quarters with a full bathroom.
Is that the top floor?
No, top floor is 33. So while you're here, let me tell you, I've got another one coming on, or another two coming on. I've got a penthouse unit on the 29th floor, facing downtown, just under 5,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, plus a study, 5.5 bathrooms, terrace with its own private pool. Gagano appliances, high ceilings. I think the ceiling height in this particular unit must be about 18 feet. And it's not the top floor. Priced at 4.7. And then I've got another one coming on the 10th floor that's non-MLS now. We can show it. It's 3,400 square feet. Also downtown Memorial Park and Galleria views. 3-bedroom, 3.5 baths, and that one is priced at 1.850, and that is actually under building value.
Did
No,
you just
there's
sell
no
one there,
EB5
Headley?
anymore, is it? There's no EB5 anymore, is it?
As far as I know, no.
Headley, didn't you just sell one there? The digital pending?
Not me,
In the 800s?
not me.
519 Hunterwood, 2,350,000, Philip Alter.
Well, Thomas Claffey had this
Yeah.
listed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful redo.
This is Leslie's parents' house. Where Leslie grew up.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like their house at all.
that's
Why
where,
aren't
that's
you
where my
listing
wife
it?
grew up.
Oh, really?
Because
Yeah.
it's for the previous.
I know.
I think so.
You listed it as the first one. Yeah, this does not look like their house at
No,
all.
this is a
Oh my God,
beautiful
look at
redo.
that
She's
clean out
done an
it is.
incredible job with it.
Who did it?
Gail Taylor.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, it is.
Looks like a completely.
Oh,
new
and
house.
geez, look at
That's so cute. Where's the waterfall?
Rogers is asking if it's a 1-story.
No,
Is it a 1-story?
no, it's 2.
Huh.
The master is down, but it's a 2-story.
11713 Longleaf, 2,790,000, Kelly Geithner. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't.
Okay, no, they were from day to West Lane.
All right, I guess that's
Is
all.
that it?
It's not.
Oh, my goodness.
It says 38.
It's 38.
Just real quick, 4515 West Alabama had a broker open house scheduled for today, but it has been canceled. That's 4515 West Alabama broker open house has been canceled.
Mine was canceled.
4515 West Alabama.
On St. Philip, yours is canceled?
Inwood Manor, yeah.
Oh, in Inwood
Ma'am?
Manor.
4514.
That's canceled, I tried to
Oh.
get on to it.
Okay. Any other new
Okay.
listings?
Have a reduction in a house in Westbury.
Yes?
It's 11011 Bernie, and it's been reduced from $399 to $350.
Okay.
Also, it's open on Sunday, and so is 3207 Virginia open. You haven't seen Virginia, you need to come and see it, 3207.
Perfect.
It's 3 to 5.
Is JR here?
Hold on, they sent me.
Yeah.
JR.
Rosenfeld.
Or does he, they sent this to us, does he want us to show it today? Is that why he sent this? It didn't say.
But did it have, it didn't have pictures?
Yeah, there's a bunch, but I didn't understand he wanted it discussed today. I don't know. I thought this was from exclusive. I think this is to try to get him. I don't know who
Okay, any other new listings? Yes, sir.
2 business trucks in town homes coming on.
Wait, Con, stand up so we can hear you, please.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, y'all, it's so funny, but y'all don't realize when your voice hits the heads in front of you, it stops.
Yeah,
And when you get your voice up, it's amazing. Yeah.
Two new construction townhomes coming on this week, in Montrose, on Street, 699.
Perfect. Any other new listings? Okay, let me get Heath in here.
Oh, Vicky had one, I think.
Who did?
Vicky?
Vicky, you have one? Oh, good. Go ahead.
Actually, I want to tell you about my price reduction. I have a $150,000 price reduction on a beautiful home in Bacon Street. They bought it for $1,060,000, so I have it now listed for $950,000. Please take opportunity to see if one of your clients would like it.
Okay, any other new listings? Okay, Heath Barnes, thank you for our breakfast.
Thank you, Marilyn, for being here. I'm Chief Barnes, Home Equity. My counterpart, Mr. Will Swallen, Will's been in the business 20 years. We've been working together for about a year and a half now. So a little humor to start off our day. Everyone like a little humor?
Yes.
What do you get when you have 100 loan officers with sand up to their neck? Not enough sand. Good news about interest rates. They'll be at 0 by the end of the year, so the real estate market.
Yeah,
So one thing that has happened as far as rates are concerned is you probably heard they have started going down, and they started to tick back up. We see a little bit of a bounce because of good news on the employment side. There's something happening in the treasuries, which is what's called an inverted yield curve, and generally what that precipitates a recession. So that's the bad news. So what's an inverted yield curve? In mortgage terms, it would be like if my 30-year interest rate was lower than an ARM. So that's what's happening on the national scene. So good news is most people are moving to places like Houston, bigger cities. So if we do have a recession, we don't expect it to be like 2008 or 9. So any questions about rates or mortgages or anything like that?
So is it inverted right now on the
So
arms?
the 2 and the 5 are inverted, meaning you can get more yield on the 2 than you can the 5.
Wow.
So we got a big problem if the 2 and the 5 invert or have a higher yield than the 10. Now we got a real problem. So just something to keep an eye out on. So the do's and don'ts on a contract, I just thought you guys were probably tired of hearing about interest rate and new programs and would be more interested in knowing what you should and should not put on a contract that might help. I had a transaction recently that we had a little bit of a problem, and so I just thought I would go over this at the meeting. So what are some things that so I'm just going through the do's and don'ts. Repairs. Just know that something to remember about repairs on a contract. If you're going to put the repairs on the contract, it's okay. We need some type of proof that the repair has been done if it's going to be on the contract. So what some agents choose to do is all the repairs, they make it an amendment, and they forget to send it to the lender. And we're okay with that. Actually, we would even prefer not getting a list of the repairs. We don't really want to know about it. So that's coming from my underwriters. So other banks may be different, and you may have different guidelines here at Martha Turner. I'm just telling you what we look like.
No, we don't
You know what?
have different guidelines.
Okay. So
We've been told that by many.
okay.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, don't tell me. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
So also non-realty items. One of the changes. Question: what do you put on non-realty items as a value? Anybody know?
0.
That's right. Used to be $1. Now it's 0. 0 is the best thing to put on the contract for non-realty items. Things that you want to not add to the non-realty items: cash, furniture, pool tables, boats, decorative allowances, moving costs, anything like that. It's an inducement to purchase, meaning if you put that on the contract, we would have to then lower the purchase price, right? We have to lower the purchase price of the contract. So you want to keep those off.
Where should we put them?
I'm sorry?
Now we can figure out where to put them.
So you just put them on an addendum and don't send them to me.
No, you do it
Bill
for
of
bill of
sale.
sale.
Yeah, you can do that, separate bill of sale. There you go.
Yeah.
So, and then last item would be repairs that are done to the property. If I know about the repairs, number one, we're gonna have to verify that all repairs have been done. Or improvements to the property. Again, I would rather you keep those off the contract. So we had recently where an agent told me, hey, we are putting on a new roof. I said, that's fine, just keep it off the contract. And really what was happening, she didn't send me the addendum, but she sent it to or he sent it to the title company. And so in the end, there was cash moving from the seller to the buyer. So whenever cash is moving from the seller to the buyer, it's an inducement to purchase. They actually were requiring us to reduce, my underwriter said, reduce the purchase price. Well, it's hard for an agent to go back to your buyer and say, hey, you're not getting that $9,000. Luckily, in a couple of days, we were able to move that to an escrow holdback and get the loan closed on time. So it's another example of why using someone like myself, which is a broker, is a little bit better than using a bank because we have multiple outlets for loans.
So don't send it to you nor to title company.
Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, like if you're going to send us an addendum, just pick up the phone and call me. Even if you're not sending me the loan, I'm totally okay with you calling me and say, hey, I'm going to put this on the contract. What do you think? Like, I would rather be someone of value before you start referring me business. So, all right, questions?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome.
Just a quick question. You say your TVs shouldn't be on the contract, but what if they're like mounted to the wall?
Yeah, put it on the contract, but I don't want to see the addendum. Yeah.
Do it in a bill of sale.
Bill of sale.
Well, mounted TVs, aren't mounted TVs on?
TV mounted
The
or
mounted
mounted
on the TV.
on the mount.
Yeah.
Does that count as a non-realty item or should that go on the bill of sale? Bill of
It's on
sale?
bill of sale. TVs, the TVs.
Cool, any questions? Thanks again
Perfect.
for allowing me to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready? Chris, well, Paul, it was gonna be Chris, but Chris had way too much fun in Miami. And cannot talk anymore. And, so now Paul is gonna be up.
Yes.
It was less about fun in Miami. It was more about sitting on an airplane for 6 extra hours trying to get back because of the season.
Yeah.
Chris had the pleasure of sitting next to someone coughing and sneezing on him for 6 hours. Not so good. Well, I was just bringing that up. We've talked before, this is just for the Briar Hollow people, we talked before about doing purge days. So we ordered a whole bunch of file boxes basically, and after the meeting, Amory and Richard are gonna put them in all the offices and put them out in virtual areas. So you can start that process in 2 weeks. You guys have 2 weeks to fill that up.
That's mine.
And then in 2 weeks, we're gonna come pick up all those boxes and they're gonna go to a shred. And it's all gonna be confidential. And so you basically just tape it shut. So if you wanna do that, that's gonna be purge day number 1 is in 2 weeks. And then probably in June, we're gonna have purge day number 2. Just for you guys to know.
So when is it, Thursday, this Thursday?
No, in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. But we're gonna be putting out the boxes today, so you guys have time. Yes, Vicky?
How many years do you recommend us keeping any kind of information on clients on paper format?
I mean, honestly, I don't think you should, anything that's closed should leave the paper format and be scanned in and be paperless. Because if you're ever out anywhere, you know, with OneDrive or with Dropbox or with whatever kind of application you're using, you can just access it at that instant. And then if you ever need to reprint it, you can just reprint it. That's our recommendation. Okay, so back in November, I think it was, we had someone from CultureMap come. And the reason we want to talk about this is because we had the add-on features and because we already started the ad unit. And we just wanted to give you an update, see the results, and just talk about it again. We heard some feedback that sometimes we launch programs and then never really talk about it again. So here's just a chance to bring up what's been going on. So if you remember, I'm going to assume everyone here is very familiar with Culture Map, but Culture Map is working with both Cooper and Briggs Freeman in those areas. And when they came to Houston and wanted to expand presence, they really looked only at us and they wanted to create a really good product for us, which is great. Here's some demographics. This is an Austin stat. 80% of the readers visit the site at least a few times per week. And once you see the number of impressions from these reports, I think you're going to be pretty impressed. So this is, again, the same thing that was presented before, and we can send this out. But what the offering from this package, as we're trying to shift more digital, is the company branded Site-Wise Property Showcase, which is that ad unit where you can do an ad, you can do a listing for $450 for a month. It also comes out in an email once a month, so you also get that as well. There'll be some reporting statistics. And then the optional add-ons, which I think is really exciting. We're going to talk about that too. So, you know, here's the package. It's $450. This was already discussed. This is a full year program. So this is the ad unit. And how it works is we get up to 13 per month. And this is one, and it's a carousel. So you can go through. And one of these is the $450. And it's up there for an entire month. And then when you click on it, it'll either go to your listing on sotheby'shomes.com, or if you have a property website, it'll go directly to that property website. So then here's the newsletter. So this goes out to all of the subscribers, and we've gotten some really good click-throughs on this email as well.
Sorry, the newsletter's included.
The newsletter's included in the $450, yes. So you get it both online, and you also get this email blast that goes out.
Paul, can I ask a quick?
Yeah.
Is, when you say a month, is that literally on the first of the month, or can you launch it at any point during the month?
Pretty sure it's literally the first.
You can at any time of the month.
You can.
But it's still $450.
Correct.
There's no
Right.
proration.
But it'll run 30 days, like mid-month to mid-month.
April to April.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, so today's the 9th.
Right.
So if you want to go back and do this, yeah, you'll get it through March 9th. Just make sure you coordinate that with Chris's group.
And the newsletter goes out once?
The newsletter goes out once, and because there's only 4 advertisers in all of Houston that can do it, and we're guaranteed 1, and we're the middle of the month. So depending on the month, it's always a Friday. It'll be somewhere between the 15th and the 19th each month. So if you were to sign up today, you'll be in next week. Yeah, but if you sign up on the 20th, you'll be, you know, the following month. Mm-hmm. So this is another really good part about this is reporting, and we've been working with different advertisers, and they're trying to get products out there, but their reporting has always been somewhat lacking. Culture Map has been working on this product for a couple of years, and they have a really good reporting program. So this is actually Karen Harburg's that she signed up for, and these are the actual results. So for the 1 month she did it in February, she had 180 impressions just on the website. I'm sorry.
180,000.
180,000 was the whole ad unit. She had 67,000 for her property. And this is on the website. She had 76 clicks. So that's 76 leads or prospects to the listing page. Then on the Homes of the Week newsletter, really high click-through rate, and it went to her property 166 times. So again, this is all the 450 package. When you add them together, she had a total of 242 clicks. She gets this actual piece of paper, and she could just print it, email it, and everyone who did this program got the exact same thing. And you can put it, if you want to do a monthly, you know, recap with your seller, you can show 142 clicks were driven directly there and how many impressions there were. So, and again, you know, we talk about this all the time. So let's say she got 242 and 0 phone calls, you know, that tells you something, right? And so there's that whole conversation. Is there a question? Okay. This is just some stats as well. This is more of the whole company. So our click-through rate of 0.3 sounds really low, but the average is 0.02. So we were actually 15 times higher than the industry standard, which is really, really good. And so you have to give a baseline to these numbers. If you tell your client we got a 0.3 click-through, I mean, it sounds terrible. Yeah. So you got to say this is 15 times higher than other products out there. And then also on the email, industry standard is a 2 to 4% click through, and we were at 14. So 7 times higher than normal. So that's why this is such a good product. So we had 8. Remember, I said there's 13 opportunities. We had 8 people sign up for it. These are all their actual numbers. So as a company, we had over 1,100 clicks to the site, and it ranged from parents which had 242 to another that had 67. So there was no one with 0, basically. Everyone was getting something for the value.
But what constitutes an impression?
It's just a view on the website.
Huh?
If it shows up on your screen, that's considered an impression.
So it showed up 67,000 times?
Yeah.
On 67,000.
That was just Karen's. Karen's one property in 28 days, because it was February, showed up on screens 67,000.
67,000 screens.
67,000 screens, yes.
Is there a correlation to price point versus total clicks?
Maybe. I think, honestly, it's better the picture. And then it's also the audience. You know, so you don't always have to have your exterior elevation shot. If it's a pool, if it's a kitchen, I mean, you could be a little bit risky and do a kitchen if it's fabulous, because maybe you're going to find that handful of buyers that where the kitchen sells the house for them, right? Mm-hmm. So you can be a little adventurous, I would say.
Can you change your picture around during the 30 days?
I don't think so, Chris. Chris, can you change the picture?
During the 30 days? Yes. You just had to contact me or Michelle to switch it out.
The question is, can you change the picture? The answer is yes. Contact Chris or Michelle and advertise. So then we want to get into, so that's the 450 package. Then they also created these add-ons for us. I think this is interesting too. So for sale, so all of these are $895, which sounds like a lot, but I want to explain why it's actually a good value. So this is a for sale listing. These products have only been out for about 2 or 3 months. We haven't had anyone here do this, but if you have this one amazing property that you want to blast, basically, this is a good avenue for you. They have built-in search engine optimization. So it's possible if you type in an address, this will come up because it lives on Culture Map. If you have videos, this works for videos. They have a professional writer that will also tweak any of the listing bio for you. That's all part of the package. We have the realtor profile, which I think is really good. Hopefully everyone saw what Mike Spear did. And actually, if Mike or Catherine is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you stand up for a minute and say the experience?
It was a great response. I mean, Catherine's the one who said I should do this and pushed me into it, but the response was amazing. Before she put it on Facebook, I had cousins in New York and North Carolina calling me saying, great article, Mike. I'm like, how did you get this? But somehow they got it, and even people from the West Coast, and then here locally, the response was fantastic.
Is this the 450?
No, now we're in the $895 one.
This is the $895.
Yes.
So do you do one listing and then it shows your profile?
These are 2 different products. This one is $895, or this one is $895, and so they all have different intents.
And this one, it was super simple. I mean, the woman at Culture Map contacted me and was like, you know, here's a list of a few questions we want Mike to answer. You know, send us his bio and then any other helpful information you'd like to include. And it took me maybe half an hour to put together. I gave Mike the questions, he answered them, and then gathered up some other, you know, data and stuff and sent it off. And within, I think, probably 48 hours, she had the proof to us. And then there were a couple tweaks, and I said, hey, can you put this in? Can you change that? And then the next day she was like, okay, here's the final if you're ready for it to go live. And then it was up the day after that. So it was super easy.
Probably 99% of the public perceived it as an article they did on Medium.
Yeah. Right. It's so if you didn't read it, it really came across well. They have a team of professional writers there that do it for you. You just have to give them some sound bites and they'll create it.
For how long does it live forever?
It lives forever, which is the advantage, right? So Mike did this one time. It took them like a day, and really for the next 2 years, it should all be relevant content. And Catherine and I were talking, and so if Mike has a listing appointment tomorrow, he can send them this link, say, here, learn a little bit about me. And they go, oh my goodness, Culture Map featured you. This is amazing, And so it just really helps you, set a precedent and a professionalism about you before you can walk in the door.
And then we were gonna get it turned into a custom PMA page as well.
Yeah, custom PMA page.
Benefits from the Culture Maps SEO.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So Culture Map runs their SEO. So if you were to type Mike Spear in, we did this a couple of days ago, and he was 4th. This article came up 4th on the search. So if you're not even involved and a friend said, hey, I work with this guy, Mike Spear, check him out, and they Google his name in Houston, this comes up 4th. And so you're going to read this, and it just makes you look that much more important, I would say.
Does it stay?
What is that?
Don't go too much deeper.
What are the first words?
Does it stay at the top indefinitely or over time?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
No, it won't, because it's all these algorithms and it's clicks and it's all this other stuff, and Google changes it all the time.
And as it ages,
It'll fall down. But it's still that's a really impressive product, and it's something you should think about doing. But again, there's 3 products, and they all have 3 different intents. And then the 4th one. Is the Margaret Vincent did this, and this is the display ad where it's called a run of sight. And so this is an actual screenshot, and you see how prominent that looks, and that drives a lot of clicks to her. I didn't have a chance to ask her how the performance was or anything, but just even looking at that. So when we talk about run of sight, if you don't know what that means, that's when you're looking at your screen and there's different advertising boxes or ad units. You get a certain percent. So a 25% run of sight means if you keep clicking refresh, 1 out of 4 times your ad shows up. So that's what that means. And so again, this one goes for a whole month. You can see she did it mid-month. She went from the 15th to March 14th.
So you get the top.
And how much is this? You get the top and side. This one's also $8.95. So it's 3 different products. They're all about $900 each, but it's all different intents, what you want to do.
And you can use Circle credits on them, right?
You can use Circle credits on these because, we did the annual contract with that. Yeah. And so you get a guaranteed impressions. Again, that's a screenshot. So she got her 70,000. Her click-through rate was 0.08%, which is 4 times normal. And then she got additional impressions above the minimal. So she got 190,000 impressions in this 1 month program. Yeah. So that's the a la carte. So on their rate card is $22.50. Some of the bigger brokers can negotiate that down. When Lindsay was here, because they work not only with Houston, but they also looked at us as one big Sotheby's family. They factored in the performance from Cooper and Briggs Freeman. That's how we got the $8.95. She said, she's going to work with other brokers, but for these 3 add-ons, but no one in town will get anywhere close to this price point. So I think that's why it's something you should really think about as we're a couple months into the year. If you're plateauing, if things aren't happening, this is a good idea. It costs a bit of money, but I think it's really valuable. Are there any questions on?
How do I sign up?
That's a good question. So it lives on the hub under Culture Map, and it actually has a special piece because you can just sign up for it, or you click the add-on section and then they pop up, and then there's some notes sections. And if you're going to do that, I would also suggest, either talking to Michelle or Chris directly for a little bit of guidance, or also talk to a sales manager if you want to do one of the add-ons, because you really have to understand what your intent is. You can push a listing, you can push yourself 2 different ways. Do you want to push yourself where it's going to live on for a couple years, or do you want to push yourself hard for a 1 month period and do the run a site? So there's a couple different strategies right there. Okay.
What's next?
Next is the social media calendar. PDF.
And there's a sign up for that for next week, basically. Right?
Today.
The next one starts next week, right?
Well, you can start in the middle of the month.
You can start in the middle of the month. So you can sign up now,
Yes.
or you can wait
You
for
start
it.
today.
You can go back to your desk and sign up today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Paul, can I ask a question while we're transitioning?
Yep.
Can you update us on where we are with rolling out our new headshots and all of our new photography?
Yeah, so the headshots are about 80% done, 80 to 85% done. We've had a couple people where we sent proofs and they didn't respond back, or we sent digital corrections and they haven't responded back. Otherwise, that number should be higher. I mean, we should be done with Friday. It's hard
What
to
if we
say.
haven't gotten anything at all? Yeah,
Because I have.
I haven't either.
What do you think?
I'm asking.
Proofs?
I just. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't gotten a proof?
Yeah.
If you have not gotten a proof, email Michelle.
Okay.
Michelle, can you raise your hand? Michelle Domingonia.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Because we have a spreadsheet that we're tracking everything with. If you have not gotten it, you should have gotten a proof like 2 months ago.
But, and then there was a
The second proof,
Second
talking
proof.
about like the final proof to okay.
You
Right.
haven't gotten that yet?
Right.
If you haven't gotten it yet, check with Michelle. And, maybe, I don't know, something must have happened. But we should be basically done, that whole project. Another thing I wanted to bring up, a big push this year is social media. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about it. I feel like we talk about it in the abstract too much. So I wanted to show you just what we've been doing. We work directly with our PR firm. This is our calendar. I know it's not super exciting, mostly because I put it together. So it's a bunch of black and white words. But we have at least one post a day. In 2018, we were doing 2 to 3 posts a week. In 2019, for the past 2 months, we've been pushing 2 to 3 posts a day. So if you're not following us on Facebook and Instagram, please do. There's a lot of content being pushed out. And we took what everyone said seriously. And the 2 major feedbacks were we're not promoting listings enough and we're not promoting you enough. And so we have a couple different strategies there. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have this program called, it's #LiveHouston. And that's going to be a promoted property. And in the little copy, it also has your name. So we're trying to give you, as well as your listing, some exposure. Every Tuesday, we do what's called Sold in 30. What's nice about this is it's irrelevant of price point or anything. Basically, if it went listed and it went into contract within 30 days, it's available. And for it to show up on a Tuesday, it had to close the week before. So we're going to post it today. So if it went into contract within 30 days and it closed last week, it's going to be on today. So if it went into contract January 22nd, if it listed January 22nd and it went into contract February 1st, but it didn't close until 3 days ago, it'll show up in the report today. So this is a nice way. We've been averaging 8 to 12 agents a week, which is incredible. So this is a great way for you, and also check that report because then you can send it to your sellers. You can reshare it, and that's another way for people in the community to see you as someone who knows how to price it right. You know what you're doing, and you're truly an expert. Some of the things in bold are we're getting a lot heavier into events and sponsorships. So we're working a lot with Terry Lemons. So if you are sponsoring anything anywhere, please tell her about it, and then please send pictures. Because if we don't know, we can't help promote you. And so this is what we know about. You probably can't read the words, and that's not relevant. But on the Saturdays, you can see that there's a lot of words there, because that's when most of our events are. And so we're also on Facebook. You know how you can do the ad unit where it's interested or going. We're doing that a lot more just to try to get more play. So there's a lot of different strategies going on here. This is what we do as standard. But then we also repost from other Sotheby's across the nation. We also have like a bunch of random things. And when Mike did his, we reposted that to try to get him more exposure. So as things pop up, please, please, please make sure you're telling Terry about it. And that's how we can give you further exposure.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah?
I have a question. Is there any way that we can add a link or if you can add a link to where it says like Easter event, if there's an event, share the event and say who's going? If there's a link on that where we can just click on it or forward that link to clients?
So in Instagram, it's hard because you can't link there. In Facebook, we usually do. If we're not doing it, definitely let us know. Because the whole goal of this is to get you guys more exposure. So if there's something we're not doing, absolutely.
No, from
just this?
Yeah.
This is just an internal calendar that that like myself, Robbins, Chris, Terry, and our PR firm can all look at. So it's just shared so we can always be on the same page. And so
Are you talking from the hub calendar?
I'm saying from the hub calendar. If we could click on the event and say, share or put a link to it to where you can just copy that link real quick and look at it, have an overview of the calendar and say, okay, I'm going to go to this, or I have clients that might be interested in the pet party or the Easter event, the art car parade, and we can just copy the link and paste it in an email or maybe even click on it and make it go to an email.
Yeah, I mean, we can add that
Okay.
as something to do. So you're talking about on the hub, under agent tools, that calendar?
Right.
Because we've been putting a lot of events there, so we just
And it's
see
on
it
the homepage too, on the
Exactly.
welcome page.
on the welcome page, yeah.
A link there.
To make it easier to just put a link, yeah.
Yeah, on the welcome page.
Okay, that's a good suggestion.
Thanks.
Yeah, look into that. You know, just also social media wise, we just did the influencer campaign last week, and so we have I don't have the stats back on that yet, but maybe I'll present that next week. And we've just been doing other things. We've been doing sponsored content on Instagram stories, which is where a lot of clients are starting to look more so than just a post. So that's a lot of the involvement we've been doing. I wanted to talk, another reason this is helpful is so we're not in constantly fire drill mode, like, oh my goodness, Easter's tomorrow, we need to get something together for you guys. So we look out, so there's like National Pet Day, Easter, Earth Day, Passover. You know, there's like different things that we're trying to be a lot more proactive with. And specifically with Passover, Easter, and Earth Day, we also wanted to bring that into social media content for you. So if you can actually switch over to Canva now, the website.
Oh, okay, I didn't,
Or Hub, if you could go to the Hub.
I didn't bring up the hub.
Okay. Oh, so hub.marthaturner.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been talking about this for a while. You're familiar with it?
I'm pretty familiar.
Okay. So we've been talking about this for a while, about doing a much better
We really
job
like each other, that's how we
about content creation for you, social media wise. And it took us a bit to get together. Yeah, so go to e-marketing. So we actually took Canva away from here and we're packaging it all in the social media. So do the social media. Here's your Canva templates. And so this is going to mimic the card templates, just so it's easier for you. We just got started. So we have Earth Day out there, like I said, Easter and Passover options. So they're all there. If you can scroll back up to the top. So once this gets a lot bigger, the search bar is already there. So these are all tags, so you can find something faster. You can also do holiday, seasonal. You know, this is gonna be the 10 to 12 different categories, like the other one, but we're just getting started here. The big change on this is what we talked about is branded and complete. So click on the complete ones. So this will pull in everything that's complete. So if you just want something, just go to the complete, go scroll to this, do preview first. So it'll pop up real big for you, so you can see it. This also works on your phone too. And then there's a download button. So you can just download it, mobile works too, and then you upload it to your social media, and within a minute or two, it's just done, right? So X out of here. Then the other piece we've been adding, if you go to branded, so this is what I've been kind of calling the 75%, 50% not done. So it's basically our logo and the thing, but we left a big spot open. If you want to then download it and take it into Canva or wherever you want to go and do your own thing to it. So every social content piece that we do, we're going to try to have at least two options, a complete, a full one, and then a partial one. Like we've always talked about, social media is all about your personality. So if you got a couple extra minutes and, you know, you're a super witty person, I would do this, just go to town and, you know, wow all of your people. So you have a couple different options. You know, like I said, and then, you know, we're not going to do like Thanksgiving today. So this will grow over the year. And in a year from now, we're going to have all the holidays. We're going to have more just sold, just listed, things of that nature. Any kind of content, we're going to try to have it a direct mail, a social media, and a resort piece. So you can choose however you'd like to get it out. Any questions on Canva or the social media piece?
It won't have our name on it, it will just have Martha Turner.
So the complete one, obviously you can just have it because then anyone can. If you want to take the what we're calling branded, because it's only branded, yeah, you can add your name. You can add your copy. You can add, you know, graphics, whatever you want to do to put your own personal touch on it. Okay, oops, sorry. Yeah, go to the one called pricing first. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the social ad engine. And I don't want to spend a ton of time because we just did this last week, but I just wanted to give kind of an update. So there's 5. We got a lot of questions about what's the difference between this and if I just post it myself. And I think that there's 5 main differences. The first is legal. It's still a huge gray area if you do it yourself with the targeting and you're still a bit exposed. This process is totally in compliance with all the laws. So this way is a little bit safer. It takes away some of the retargeting or some of the targeting that you may be able to do, which is potentially illegal. So there's just one piece. This is total compliance with the fair housing laws. The second is the targeted goals. If you scroll down, so there's, when you go through the process, and Robin Suter's actually set a couple agents up on this, but you can either drive impressions, you say that's what you want, clicks is what you want, or leads is what you want, and different things will happen. If you select leads and someone clicks on that Facebook ad, it forces them to put in a name and an email before you can go forward. If you do clicks, you have the option of when they click on that, of telling it where to go. So you could have it go to the listing page on Sotheby'sHomes.com, you could have it go to your property website, or you could have it go to your agent website if you want to do that. Or impressions, and that's just show up on as many screens as possible. So there's actually a couple different strategies you can use with it. Number 3 difference is the machine learning. So if you can go to the reporting PDF. Yeah. And then scroll all the way to the 4th page. So if you remember from last week, you pick, oh yeah, keep going, you're good. You pick 3 images. When you do it yourself, you can only pick 1 at a time, so you have to actively do it. This, keep going. Yeah, so you pick 3 images at the start, and then Facebook uses their own machine learning. So Sotheby's went, and Realogy went to Facebook and said, how do we make a really good product? They said, do it this way. Have your people pick 3, and then let Facebook's AI figure out which is best. So we said, okay, that's great. So you set it and forget it, and then the computer will do different images, and whatever's getting the better click-throughs will show up a lot more. So that's difference number 3. Difference number 4 is really this. It's better reporting than what you'll get on your own. So you'll get this at the end of the campaign, and based on your dollar amount, it's 1 week or 2 weeks. And this is designed to print and hand to a client. And so you don't have to do anything else, and it has all the information there for you. And then the 5th is it's just easier. Brad Nelson last week talked about how he was able to do it in less than 2 minutes, set it up start to finish. So it only takes a couple minutes, and it takes away some of the choices, of course, but it's designed to be that way. Any questions on social ad engines?
That's something you can add to the PMA.
We are working on PMA.
Yeah. Really everything we're working on, once it's live and working well, then yeah, we're gonna add it all to the PMA. So it's good for you to talk about like listings. Okay, well, I'm gonna hand it off to Robin Connor. About more fun stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, hold on.
I'll have to excuse the frog in my throat. I think the 5 hours on the plane kind of got me too. So I sound a little raspy. I'm sorry. Yeah, a little raspy before I got on the plane. Okay, so once again, kudos to you guys. Currently, y'all have 39% of the listing market share. Our next competitor has 23%, and the next competitor has 16%. So just bravo, kudos to you guys, 39%. So one of the keys to our success is our reach and the commitment that we have to fully expose our listings and find the buyer, right? And as the market leader, this reach includes PR opportunities with our media partners and our platforms and our PR colleagues. If you're not sure what I mean by a PR opportunity, it's things like recently Stephen Worrell's listing on Nipwood had the extraordinary garage with the Porsche parked inside of it, so Houstonia Magazine picked it up and did a feature. Or recently we did a social media piece as March Madness. Oh, my poor red ladies. I cheered them on, and thank you for all the text messages last night. Y'all were great. But going into March Madness, we did a promotional piece with all of our listings that had the basketball courts. And then Paper City soon going to do a theme story on private tennis courts, and they're going to be featuring our listings with private tennis courts. So those are types of PR opportunities that we want to bring more to our listings. And this year, we're going to work harder with you and our PR colleagues to spread the love and do that. So starting very soon, we are going to display more of these opportunities on the dashboard of the hub.
So it's going to be in this location. This necessarily isn't going to be the graphic, but it's going to be right there on the dashboard in that location. And we're going to communicate with you what type of opportunities are coming down the pipeline. And if you have a listing that is applicable to this or, meets this criteria, then we'll want you to email the address to us at houston.pr@sotheby'shomes.com. Then these opportunities turn into placements in numerous locations. It could be on the social media cheat sheet, which hopefully all of y'all are familiar with. It could be in the Art of Living newsletter. It could be on an SIR social media post as well as an MTSIR social media post, or it could be in a local editorial feature. Some of the upcoming themes or trends to watch for: second homes, pools and boat docks, extraordinary master closets, gyms, rooftop terraces, and wine rooms. So those are some of the trends and things coming down the pipe. So pay attention to the dashboard, send us your listings. We try really hard to be aware of our inventory, but you guys know it better than we do. You know what your listings have to offer, and we definitely want to submit as many listings as we can. Sometimes we get the pitch, we're asked for the theme or the idea or the listings that go with the theme that possibly the editorial is pitching. And sometimes we make the pitch ourselves, say, hey, we seem to have quite a few listings that have rooftop terraces. How about we do a trend story? Whatever it may be. We can't guarantee that all of our listings are always, all the listings that were submitted will always be picked up, but we're going to do the best we can. Because again, we think this is just additional exposure and reach for your listings. And we definitely want to leverage this more this year and spread the love across the board. All right, any questions on that? Yeah, houston.pr@sotheby'shomes, and it will be on the dashboard, so it'll be very self-explanatory. All right. Oh, I'm like my man of white. I'm my own man of white. Okay. So now we have a new upgrade coming to our agent websites, and it is called Global Listings. This will be another way for you to show your reach and feature other listings within the SIR network. There's going to be several options that you can choose to display listings from. One could be area. Say we have a lot of second home destinations from Houston, right? Like Lake Conroe, Round Top, Colorado, Florida. So you can go into this platform and you can choose listings that are possibly in those second home destinations to allow you to show our reach and possibly, do a referral. Or you can choose listings by an agent. Say you want to, pick Greg Glenn, who was here a couple of weeks ago, or Dusty Baker, or an agent you've met in the Sierra network, and you want to showcase their listings. Or you've made a referral to that agent in that location, and you've told your client that then you will also put their listing in whatever that destination is on your website, on your agent website. So that's another way. Or you can just go out into the Sierra network and just pick a listing on its own. So I think this is going to be another great way for you to show our exposure and possibly build on your outbound referrals. So so this is looking at an agent website. And if you're choosing to participate, then the Global Listings tab will pop up. If you're choosing not to participate, then it won't be there. And then will you go to Kelly's website?
So I have to come out.
Yes. Thank you. And then you'll go to Global Listings. So I'm beta testing on Kelly's right now, and what I kind of just did is just to give you all an idea, hopefully to give you a visual. So we've got tons, if you don't mind scrolling down. Thank you, ma'am. We have lots of Houstonians, right, that go to 30A. So she's chosen a property in the 30A area. Well, then we have lots of clients that go to Aspen or go to Colorado in the summer months. So she's chosen to feature a couple of different properties in the Colorado area. And then this is for fun, she was so lucky to place a referral in Italy. So now she's able to tell her client, yes, and thank you so much for this referral, and I'm going to have your property on my agent website. So that's just kind of a visual of how this will work. Once this is up and fully running, I'll come back up here in the next couple of Tuesdays and give you the logistics of how to do this. If you're familiar with your agent websites, it will be another tile on your dashboard. And then you'll just click away just like you did when you built your agent website to begin with, and then you can change it at any time. Are there any questions on that? Okay, yes.
Does it have to be a Sotheby's?
Yes, it has to be within the Sierra network, just because, and then we have the photos and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so actually, no, you're perfect right there. Thank you. So while we're on agent websites, I just wanted to touch on them real fast. I'm gonna grab my water. I just want to touch on them real fast and make sure, excuse me, you're aware of the features, and then maybe just talk about how you can use it. So for me, an agent website, do I really expect somebody in Singapore or Aspen or somewhere just to Google Kelly.com or kellygeithner.com and find it in the search engine? No. It is a way for you to use it for traction for yourself or possibly your listings. It's like a digital business card. It's not necessarily like you tell your sellers with a property website. It's not necessarily do you expect somebody to Google 123mainstreet.com in Singapore, but it's how you're going to use the website to bring traction to the property. It's the same thing for you. It's a digital business card for you to use to bring traction to yourself. So one of the things I just wanted to go through really quickly is just looking at the tabs. When we have a listing presentation, we use a bio, right? Sometimes we add some additional information to it just to kind of add some stats or our stats or other testimonials. Well, this is something that's just a little bit better than a one-dimensional piece of paper that's trying to sell yourself. This is a greater, in my opinion, this is a better tool that can just complement the bio. So if you don't mind going back up. Right. So there's different ways that you can drive traffic to your website, and then there's multiple things that the visitor can do. Under search properties, and you don't have to click on them, because I know I'm going against time. Under search properties, this is an IDX with HAR. So you can literally tell your buyers or clients to go to your website, kellygeithner.com, hit click search properties, and then it's an IDX with HAR, and they can search everything that's available in Houston and, that's available in HAR. They can look at your listing so they can see what you have going on. Where is your range? What are you currently listed? Then they can see the reach, the globalness, the referral network. Then they can see your select solds. They can see your market share. They can see a map of it. You can arrange those in different orders. You can say by the most recent close or the most expensive sale. Then they can read the most recent market update. So we do those quarterly, right? So the most recent market update will always be on your agent website. So you can always send somebody to your agent website to read about the areas and what the statistics are. About is about the agent themselves, which is the bio and then a headshot, and also accolades are listed down below, as well as testimonials, which I think are huge. Only With Us talks about the company. Press, if you've done a Mike Spear culture map piece, then it will live on your website forever. Blog goes to the Art of Living newsletter, so it's just more content to just show our reach and our expertise and our knowledge. And then direct contact to you. So I think the agent website is a great way for selling yourself, what to do with it. So you can put it in your email signature. You can send it out in Resource. You can email it out. You can send it to a seller prior to a listing appointment. Here's a link to my agent website. I can't wait to see you on Friday. This is a great introduction to yourself, just like talking about sending the culture map link. Send them both, or have the culture map link linked into this, and then they'll see both. After you've met a buyer, send it to them. Introduce yourself again. Really enjoyed meeting you. I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to work with you. Here's a link to my agent website. Talk to you soon. Maybe you've met some people at the open house that you just totally clicked with and want to, instead of just sending them a boring little email like, nice to meet you, let me know if I can help, you're now sending them a link to, here's more about me. Here's a link to my website. And oh, if you're still interested in the property, here's a link to the property website. Oh, and you said you were new to the buying, buying process. Here's a link to our digital buyer's book. Oh, and you said you were moving in from out of town and you're not sure of what area you're interested. Here's a link to myperfecthousing.com. Oh, and here's a link to our market update so you can learn about the most, the stats in the areas, the most recent stats and trends that are going on in the areas. We have so many different tools.
Wait, is that all?
Ma'am?
Is that it?
That's it. Sorry. We'll come up with more next week. But the idea behind, okay, so now I'm sorry. Can you go to this one? My bad. Forgot to switch over.
Hold, please.
No, you're doing fine. So this was what I was just listing out, sorry. So this is just, I have the question, well, I don't know what to do with my agent website. Just think outside the box, figure out ways to bring traction to it, figure out ways to use it. It's an incredible, impressive tool. If y'all believe in them for your properties, then I hope you will believe in them for yourself. And then just figure out how to use them and where to use them. I really feel like it's a professional way to communicate and show your expertise, your knowledge, and kind of wrap up everything in one. All right, any questions on that? All right. Y'all just ready for me to stop talking? Oh,
You could talk all day, Rob.
oh, thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this was just one other thing I wanted to touch on quickly. When you have a listing in MLS that needs to be withdrawn for different reasons, sometimes we have to have some repairs made. Sometimes it's too crazy to go through the holidays and they just don't want it. There's this perception with our sellers that they don't want it in MLS, they don't want it out there, but then they kind of want us to still soft sell it, right? Or they still want us to kind of be marketing it, but just don't put it in MLS. Or maybe they needed to withdraw it because, somebody's getting married in the family. Whatever it is that they feel like they want to just kind of let up on the accelerator, but they don't want to completely go radio silent, okay? If you have a listing that was in MLS and then needs to be withdrawn, but you still need to soft sell it and you still need to have the tools to do that, then it needs to be on the non-MLS list, okay? And the non-MLS list you can grab from MLS, then click on Add New Non-MLS, and then fill in that information accordingly. And then that way it will stay on the radar. And once you complete the new non-MLS listing, you will tell us how much of it doesn't need to be on the radar. Do you want us to continue to put it on Sotheby's Homes, Sotheby's Realty, Trillia, Zillow? Do you want it in properties? Do you need to do a Rosora with it? And then that way you'll be able to find it in your drop downs and you'll be able to still get e-flyers or do print ads for it. And then we'll know what we need to be doing on the back end with it. Does that make sense? So I just want to make sure when we're talking about marketing today that everybody understands if we have a property to market, it's got to be one place or another. It's either got to be an active MLS listing or it's got to be on the non-MLS. I know non-MLS sounds like it's not on MLS at all, but withdrawn technically means we have the listing protected, but we just don't want to actively market it in MLS, but then I still kind of want to do this stuff over here. And in order to do this stuff over here, we've got to have it on the non-MLS list. Okay, any questions on that? Yes.
One thing, like this Reba, I just put in so I could advertise and put them on Friday. Like this isn't even being marketed. It's going to be a hot property next Tuesday. But like I didn't know what to put for advertising as to what to advertise. Well, that's the reason I'm putting it in this because I want to advertise, but I want control of where it goes right now.
And that's why when you go on there, it's going to ask you like 100 questions. Do you want it in properties? Do you want it in print ads? Do you want it on Sotheby's Homes? Do you want it on Sotheby's Realty? And you can say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You know, and if it's on here, then it goes into the non-MLS list email and things like that. So you can just choose, you know, where you need it. If it's totally withdrawn from the market and you don't even want it on anybody's radar, then it doesn't need to go here. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, any questions? All right, Marilyn, you want to wrap us up? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, y'all. I know it's just overwhelming. We have so much to offer. Does everybody know when to come here, Robin, go through it all? When is that?
It's usually
Michelle. When is that?
It's only the keys to advertising class.
The keys to advertising class. And when is the keys to advertising class?
May 2nd.
First Thursday of every month. Y'all just get that, remember that. And it's not like you haven't seen it, like you've all seen what both Robin and Paul talked about today. But just, it's another refresher for you to come, ask questions, find out some answers. They go through it all over again. So it's a lot, but we have so much, y'all. And now with all the reporting, look at that reporting on Culture Map. Wasn't that fabulous? Oh my gosh, that is really good. Y'all need to really review that and look at that because it was great. Any questions from anybody? Have a terrific day. Have a terrific week.
Thank you.
Next year, don't forget.
Next year?
Yes, next year, we want to be able to close the office down for 4 days and put a voicemail on our recorder. I'm sorry, but we are all in somewhere celebrating our success. So call these successful people when we get back on Monday. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, our clients
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah, your clients would love that, yeah. Y'all have a great day, have a great week. Robin, thanks.
I was like, why did we stay so long?
I know.